Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. And I got to tell you, I'm feeling pretty good tonight. Last week, we had a couple of big honkin' rallies for a strong Saskatchewan. And tonight, we're celebrating a big honkin' election win. Congratulations to everyone who had a hand in making that happen. There are so many people to thank here this evening. And there is a long list of thank yous that need to be handed out. But I want to start by thanking you, the people of Saskatchewan. For a fourth time, you have placed your trust with the Saskatchewan Party. You've given us a great responsibility, and we take that responsibility very seriously. We are humbled by the task that lies before us, and we are ready to go to work on your behalf. We are eager to build a strong economy, strong communities, strong families, and a strong Saskatchewan. For everyone in this great province. This has been an election like no other in our lifetime. It was challenging for Election Saskatchewan and the thousands of election workers who administered the vote in this province. And I want to take a moment to thank them for running a safe and running a successful election. It was challenging for all of the candidates and the campaign volunteers who had to find new ways to reach their voters and to reach them safely. So I want to say thank you to every candidate from every party for putting your name forward, and thank you to all of the campaign volunteers. And I mean every volunteer for every party in the province. You are the people who make our democracy work, and you make it work well. You are the people that understand that elections are not decided on Twitter. You are the people who got out from behind your keyboard and you went into the real world to knock on doors, to put up signs, to make calls, and to talk about what you believe in to Saskatchewan voters. That takes courage, and that takes commitment. Our province and our democracy are well served by a vigorous exchange of ideas, and by everyone who is willing to volunteer their time to advance those ideas to Saskatchewan voters. So thank you to all of the volunteers across this province for your work during this election. Congratulations to all of the successful candidates. Right now, we are looking at 40-some elected and re-elected Saskatchewan Party MLAs, and I'm so very glad to have so many of my colleagues join me back in the legislature. And I look forward to working with the new Saskatchewan Party MLAs that are elected for the first time here this evening. There are a few more candidates that still don't know whether they have won, and they may not know for a couple of days the results of their election until the mail-in ballots are counted. It's a nerve-wracking, I know it's nerve-wracking waiting for just a few hours for those results, and I can't imagine what it's going to be like waiting for a couple of days. But I guess that is the way it's going to be, and it's going to work in this year's very unusual circumstances. Friends, in Saskatchewan, we understand that voting is a great privilege. It's a fundamental freedom for each of us. Today, we honor those that have fought and sacrificed to defend that freedom that we enjoy, so that we might have this opportunity to debate openly in our communities and to decide freely who should govern this province. May we never lose sight of how fortunate we are to be from Saskatchewan and to live in Canada. Tonight, I would give you my word that we will be a government for all of the people. Whether you supported the Saskatchewan Party or whether your support lied with a different party, we will govern for all. And we will work to build a strong Saskatchewan for all of us. A few minutes ago, I had the opportunity to have a phone call with the leader of the NDP, Ryan Miley. I appreciated that call, and I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Mr. Miley on running a very strong campaign. We obviously have our differences when it comes to policy, but I have never doubted Mr. Miley's love for this province. I've never disputed his commitment to making Saskatchewan a better place to live. I know his party will continue to serve Saskatchewan well as Her Majesty's loyal opposition. Ladies and gentlemen, I started today in Shelburne, my home community, and it was good to be at home, at least for this morning and last night. During the campaign, I did not spend as much time at home as I would otherwise. As a leader of a party, all too often you are required to be in other ridings, and at times you are an absentee candidate in your own riding. I'm very fortunate to have a dedicated campaign team of volunteers that were working on my campaign at home. Again, it was headed by my campaign manager, Bev Rafee, and they did an absolutely incredible job in the constituency of Rosthern-Shelburne, not just on the campaign, but they also as they always do, worked hard to ensure that I stayed grounded. And I'm so very grateful for the campaign team that we had and all of the support that we received from the communities in the Rosthern-Shelburne constituency. It's truly the honor of my life to represent all of you, each of you, in the Saskatchewan legislature. So thank you to all of the folks back home for your support. To all of our Saskatchewan Party candidates and volunteers in every part of the province, you guys are absolute rock stars. I can't begin to thank you enough for you giving the time to support the cause. We know the work isn't finished. We know the work isn't glamorous. Going door to door, identifying supporters, working the phones, putting up the signs, and specifically to the volunteers, you also had to put up with your candidates. And for Don Morgan's team, I can tell you that would be half of the battle. And my team might say the same. For that matter, I would also like to say thanks to our volunteers across the province. Most crucially, I want to thank them for getting the vote out last week and getting the vote out today. What you did made all of the difference in the world. We prevailed because of the efforts that you made. So thank you. And there's another group that deserve our gratitude this evening. Our Sask Party team back in Regina at our central headquarters. First of all, our campaign co-chairs. Donna Harpower, one of the longest-serving cabinet ministers in the nation of Canada. And Patrick Bundrock, who I'm sure is also one of the longest-serving executive directors in the nation of Canada as well. But more important than that, he is the best. There are so many others that I need to thank here this evening, and more than I can actually list. But I do want to mention just a few of my senior staff. Shannon Andrews, Jim Billington, Graham Stewart, and Reg Downs. These are some of the brightest political minds in Canada at the moment, and I am so very fortunate to work alongside them each and every day. And finally, I want to thank the people closest to me, my family. Many years ago, I was a teenager and I happened into a neighbor's yard with a friend, and we were talking to a gentleman that lived there, and I couldn't help but notice that this gentleman, he had a beautiful daughter. Looking back, I think that was the moment that I fell in love with my wife, Krista. Krista and I were married quite young, and yes, we went through some challenging times. Still do from day to day. Raising kids, for example, while we finished our education at the University of Saskatchewan right here in the city of Saskatoon. We left the province to look for work like so many other Saskatchewan people did at that time. But wherever we were and whatever we were going through, we always had one another. And tonight I can say without hesitation, by far, the best thing that I have ever done in my life was marry my wife, Krista. Krista, thank you so very much for everything. Krista and I also have some children, two great children, Carter and Taryn. And of course, they're not kids anymore. They're young adults. They're carrying on with their lives. But they are the reason that I ran for this office in the first place. I want my children, and I want your children, to have the chance to build a career and to start a family and to build a good life right here in the province of Saskatchewan. That's what motivates the Saskatchewan Party more than anything else, and that's why I get out of bed each and every morning. Building a strong Saskatchewan for the generations that are coming. Lastly, I would take a moment to recognize my parents. My father, Don, is still attempting to retire. He wasn't having much success at that in the early years, but he is getting better at it here recently. My mother, June, is officially retired. She was an educator in our community of Shelburne for many years. Folks, like so many in this province, I owe my mother and father so very much. There's no way in the world that I would be up here tonight without their love, their guidance, without their wisdom, without their support, and without the values that they have instilled in myself and my siblings. So thank you to my parents. Thank you, Mom and Dad. My friends, these last few months, they've been difficult ones for our province as we deal with this pandemic, and we still have some challenges that lie ahead of us. But we're coming through this better than most places in the nation, thanks to what all of you are doing, each of you are doing, to control the spread of this virus. Today, most of our economy is open in this province. We have the lowest unemployment rate in the country, and the recovery is well underway in our province. So the ballot question this election was, who do you trust to lead Saskatchewan's economic recovery? Who do you trust to ensure that Saskatchewan continues to recover, continues to move forward, and continues to grow? That was the question, and this evening we got the answer, and we got the answer loud and clear, and it is a great honor, and it is a tremendous responsibility to know that Saskatchewan voters, they answered that question by saying, we trust the Saskatchewan Party. Tonight I would offer you this. We will work every day to be deserving of your trust, to lead a recovery that is worthy of your trust, and to build a great province that is also worthy of your trust. When the Saskatchewan Party was first elected in 2007, Premier Brad Wall, he set down a marker for us, all of us. He made it our clear duty, he made it clear that our duty was to work as hard as we possibly could each and every day to earn the trust of Saskatchewan people. It was our duty to leave things just a little bit better than we found them. And though we have been imperfect, like many governments before us, we have tried to live up to that goal during the course of the last 13 years, and it will remain our guiding principle over the course of the next 4. My friends, a government earns that trust by doing what we say we're going to do, by keeping our promises. It's what we did in our first 3 terms of office, and it is what we are going to do in this next term that you have provided us. So in the months and the years ahead, you will see us keeping our campaign commitments. Our focus will be on Saskatchewan's economic recovery while ensuring that Saskatchewan is an affordable place for everyone. We will cut your power bills by 10% this year. Everyone will benefit: renters, farmers, small businesses, homeowners. We are going to reduce the small business tax rate from 2% to 0% temporarily to support our economic recovery, so that small businesses in this province can invest, so they can expand, so they can hire, and so that they can contribute to our economic comeback. There will be a home renovation tax credit to make renovations more affordable for families and to stimulate activity in our construction sector. And we will make life more affordable for students by increasing the Saskatchewan Advantage Scholarship. We will invest in healthcare by expanding eligibility for autism funding, improving services for people with diabetes, and enhancing services and supports for those who are living with a disability. And we're going to make life more affordable for seniors by cutting the cost of ambulance calls and increasing the seniors' income plan. And we will do all of this while working towards balancing the budget by 2024. In the days ahead, we are going to strike another balance as we manage through this ongoing pandemic together. It's the balance of keeping Saskatchewan people safe, while at the same time keeping our economy strong and preserving the jobs in our province. Saskatchewan has already shown that we know how to find that right balance. We can protect lives and livelihoods, and we can do it at the same time. We've done it together thanks to all of you, and we will continue to do this together thanks to all of you. As I mentioned earlier, we will govern for everyone in this province, including those that did not vote for us. In this election, there was a number of voters, many of them in rural constituencies. They used their vote this election to express their frustration with the federal government. And to those voters, I want to say, I hear you. And I want to say this government hears you. We share your frustrations, and we share many of your objectives. We are not happy with the federal government either. And you have my word that we will continue to stand up for Saskatchewan as we have always done. There is no government in Canada that has advocated more strongly against a federally imposed carbon tax than the government of Saskatchewan. Together with Alberta, we have been steadfast in our opposition to Bill C-69, the No More Pipelines Bill, as well as Bill C-48, the No More Tankers Bill. And no government has been more active working on behalf of the sustainable industries that create wealth and jobs in this province and across the nation of Canada. The industries that contribute to the well-being of millions of people here and around the world. Agriculture, energy, mining, manufacturing. Saskatchewan is world leaders in each of these industries. They drive growth in this province, and they will continue to drive growth in this province in the years ahead. They enable us to invest in the quality of life that we seek. They enable us to invest in new schools, in new hospitals, and to invest in the vulnerable in our society. So tonight I offer you this. We will be unrelenting in defending our Saskatchewan industries and our Saskatchewan people. We will defend them here in Canada, and we will defend them around the world. We will always stand up for a strong and independent Saskatchewan. We will stand up for Saskatchewan because there is simply so much at stake. In this province, we are just beginning to explore the incredible potential that we possess. We're just getting started. And today, we have every reason to be so optimistic about our own future. No, not just because of our resources, the food, the fuel, the fertilizer that is in demand around the world that we possess. Not just because of our cutting-edge innovation in energy and agriculture and in food processing or in technology. We have every reason to be hopeful and optimistic because of you, the people of Saskatchewan. Determined and resilient, creative and compassionate, and always finding a way to get the job done. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been given a strong mandate this evening. You have reposed your trust and your confidence in us. We have a lot of work ahead of us. That begins tonight. And together, we can lead a strong recovery. We can build a strong economy, strong communities, strong families. And we can build a strong, growing, and vibrant Saskatchewan. Thank you so very much for the trust that you have placed in us. We will work each and every day to ensure that we are worthy of that trust and to be worthy of the honor of governing the great province of Saskatchewan. Thank you for joining us this evening. God bless us, Saskatchewan.